The Beatles' split at the close of the 1960s and into the early 1970s came as a shock to the music world, but it was even more deeply felt by Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr, and John Lennon themselves. After achieving global fame together, they parted ways, suddenly free to chase their own interests or to face the unsettling quiet when nothing seemed worth pursuing. For some of them, coping meant turning to alcohol. McCartney later acknowledged that he relied on drinking as a way to soothe his emotions, a habit that only broke when his wife Linda stepped in. Harrison, however, chose humor as his outlet. The old saying that the higher one flies, the harder one falls could easily describe many aspects of the 1960s, from the fading ideals of the summer of love to rising political unrest and shifts in the musical landscape. The Beatles' breakup marked yet another ending, a reminder that not all things could last forever. Not the summer of love and not the Fab Four. By the early 1970s, each former Beatle was in a position to do whatever they wished. For Harrison, that meant turning toward a form of performance art that had appealed to him even during his time with the band Comedy. With his schedule suddenly open, he began working closely with the English comedy troupe Monty Python. During a 1981 appearance on Good Morning America, Harrison likened Monty Python's comedic style to what the Beatles had aimed for in music. He explained that the band had sought to create something fresh and offer alternatives to the norm, and he felt Python had done the same in comedy. To him, the comedic scene had grown stale over the years, and Python broke that monotony with humor that dared to mock nearly everything, from governments to human behavior, leaving very few topics untouched. Harrison also admitted that the post-1960s atmosphere had felt somewhat bleak, making it all the more important to have something that could keep people smiling. Harrison left the Beatles carrying a significant sense of frustration, which was unsurprising given how early he was drawn into the music industry and how quickly he saw both its spiritual highs and its worst displays of greed, ego, and corruption. Finding himself without his old bandmates, he discovered creative and intellectual kinship in Monty Python. In a 1979 conversation with Rolling Stone, Harrison revealed that Monty Python had been his favorite thing after the Beatles, helping him through years when he felt little else was happening, and standing out as the only ones who recognized that, at its core, life was a grand joke. Monty Python member Terry Gilliam later recalled in Joshua Green's Here Comes the Sun that the troupe had formed the very year the Beatles disbanded. Harrison, he said, was convinced that the same spirit which had once driven the Beatles had somehow passed into Python. Harrison especially enjoyed their sharp critiques of Britain's upper class and their irreverent takes on those who took themselves too seriously, particularly within religious circles.